Well, hello! I'm so glad you dropped in for this Summer Shortie episode. Over the next few weeks, I'm taking a summer break, and to tie you over and keep you close to my heart, I've pre-recorded a couple of shorter episodes where I answer questions and talk about my strategies and ideas. Things that are worth sharing but might not make a whole episode. I hope you enjoy this Summer Shorties and your summer. And if you want to ask me a question or share an idea, go to asmallerlife.com and click on the left side button in the show notes of any episode. Actually, it might be the right side button. There's a button there. Go find it. How to start a knit circle. So when my shop closed, the community that was around that shop initially moved online with me, and now that online community is partly new people and partly some of the old people that were connected to my shop. But a community in the area where you live is something completely different than a community online where everybody around the world can join. There's pros and cons to an actual community where you can shake people's hands or not, depending on if you do that anymore, or a community online where you can meet people from all around the world. Me, I kind of like both, and I have moved into an area of Rotterdam where a lot of old residents needed to move out because they were making place for newer buildings, and some people are still here, and now we have a mix of the older residents and the newer ones, and it's not always super positive, but as a community, we try to live together and make it work. And I wanted to be part of the solution rather than the problem. And I thought there's nothing better than a knit group. Crafting really connects people. I think all walks of life, crafting can be or is a thing. And so I set up this knitting community in 2 cafes in the area. One cafe is more connected to the older residents, which doesn't have anything to do with age, but the people that were here for a long time. And the other cafe is more connected with the newer residents. And so one week we have the knitting group in one cafe and the other week is in the other one. And my hope and wish is that eventually people will start going to both cafes and start meeting other people. And it's been really fun. We recently had, I think it was 9 people show up. It was really easy to do. So what I want to do in this episode is tell you how I organize it so you can do something similar in your community and meet up with people you don't know yet, which is always great. So what I did is I was looking for a location, and a location needs to have good seating. Look at the chairs if they're comfortable for all kinds of body types. Good light. Lighting is really important, and obviously when are they open? And then talk to the owner and ask what they feel about a returning group of people that craft. And I think one of the most important things is that you have to be clear that if you go to cafes and not, say, neighborhoods, community places, if you go to a cafe, that's a business. So if you attend, you need to buy a drink. At least one drink, at least. I would say a drink an hour is nice, but that's up to you. But I think it's important for the owners to know that you're not just taking up space, you're also contributing to supporting their business in the community, which is a big part of it. And then see how they react. And if they're cool with it, you decide on a day and time so they know when you're coming. You can talk about what spaces you are welcome to sit at, and just have an open conversation is always the best, but don't show up with a group of knitters and surprise the owners. That's never a good idea. It's great if you can make a poster and just That's a minimum thing you can do, is make a poster at the location and hang it on the toilet, in the toilet, or anywhere in the vicinity, in the cafe or where you're meeting, so that people know that it's happening there. How to make a poster. I love canva.com. It will really help you with great templates to make cool posters, but just a paper and even just a Sharpie will do the trick. Just invite people over to your crafting group, and that's all you need to do. Then if you want to be fancy, it's nice to have a way that people can find you and find information. So if you already have a website, you can use one page of that website, or make a landing page that sits by itself and a newsletter. You can Google that. There's lots of ways to just have a landing page connected to a newsletter and then have people sign up for the newsletter. And if you have to communicate something, you can. Obviously, you can also open up a WhatsApp group if you want to, or if you really want to, a Facebook group. There's different ways that you can communicate with a group, but I would say starting a crafting group is easiest if you make it as simple as possible. Just be there at the time you say you'll be there. So if it's every other Saturday at 10 o'clock, make sure somebody is there. So what we did is I found 2 other ladies that helped me organize this. So there's always one of us there. So if one of us is doing something else, then the other ones are there, or one of them. So if you are a new crafter to the group, then you don't end up like looking around, spotting no one. There will always be somebody welcoming new people. And that's all there is to it, basically. The only thing that is really necessary is that you ask permission, that you have a piece of paper and a Sharpie, and make a little poster, and then talk about it. Talk about it to the people around you, to the baker, the butcher, the candlestick maker, anyone and everyone, and see it grow. And if you have any more questions, let me know. Click the button on the show notes page and let me know if you want to start a craft group. I'll help you out. Have fun meeting new people, and you'll hear me in 2 weeks. Bye! I want to say a quick thank you to Ali, who co-produces and edits the show. Thank you to our Patreon supporters and the members of the Yavol community and Building Better Businesses Circle. There are so many different ways to join the movement for more conscious and more sustainable crafting and business owning. Go to asmallerlife.com to subscribe to newsletters I write with makers and or sellers in mind. Support via patreon.com/asmallerlife, or join the community if you want to actively work on crafting your conscious wardrobe or lifting your craft business a little higher with practical content and the power of accountability and support of a community. I hope you will be back in 2 weeks for the next Summer Shortie episode.